Hey, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. Maybe, some people will question that, I'm sure. Hold on a second. All right, no problem. It's not working. Okay, what am I doing? Does anybody know? Why am I here? Who am I? What happened? Oh, well. Unfortunately, there's nothing happy going on today, which is beginning to become a real drag. So let's just do it, okay? Get it out of the way. Oil's $100 plus per barrel because of Trump. Trump is raising tariffs and going around doing what he can to make the world more expensive for the ordinary person. I don't understand how the unemployment is down unless people have just stopped collecting because they've been deported or they're afraid to go to the unemployment bureau because they have to give up too much information and they don't want to give it up. I don't know how many people are actually working because most of them are probably working on AI, which will put them all out of work in about 10 years, less than 10 years, probably 5. The way China's going, 5 years. Yeah. So that's the way to start the day off, isn't it? Depressing. Lucy, what are you looking at? Lucy, what are you doing? Come here. Come. That's not good for you. Go on, lay down. Good girl, baby. Good girl. Yeah, sometimes she listens to me. Only because she's tired, she wants to lay down. Now, of course, here's a little Trump, being Trump sort of story. They had a Saudi Arabian nuclear deal that was signed and ready to go into what do you call it? I guess ready to go into effect is the term I want to use. I guess so. And Trump decided to screw over it and and make it maybe unacceptable to the Saudis. It's probably too good a deal, you know. Trump is not the art of the deal. All right, Trump art of the deal is long gone. Trump is the asshole of the deal now. He's the screw up of the deal. He messes everything up. Let's see what else is going on. The Dodgers. The Dodgers gave Trump a World Series ring. I believe it was a World Series ring. And I have to tell you, I've been a Dodger fan since I was first knew what baseball was. Dodgers and Giants. I loved Willie Mays. That's the Giants, best center fielder ever. Then there was with the Dodgers was Pee Wee Reese. I mean, my mother even loved the name Pee Wee Reese. You know, how could you not love the guy? Gil Hodges, Junior Gilliam, Duke Snyder, another name. Come on, these are real names. These weren't game names. These were their names. These were some of the greatest players in history. You know, and then he goes and then they go and they give a World Series ring to Donald Trump. Now they can go fuck themselves. Okay, I'm not a big baseball fan anymore, anyhow, because the game just got exceptionally boring. It's all about people keeping statistics and stuff. What did they call that? Fantasy baseball is more exciting than the game itself now. So I don't watch baseball anymore. Uh, I watch college baseball when I can get it on TV down here. You know, the World Series, things like that. I watch the sometimes you can get Colombian baseball on the TV down here, and I watch that stuff. I like it's basically amateur stuff. It's not the billionaires playing, not a kid's game, but a billionaires playing a game. You know, it's more competitive. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, well, we thought this was going to happen anyhow, but this is the kiss of death for JD fans. Trump is supporting him for president in 2028. He's my man. That's the kiss of death for JD Vance. JD Vance might or might not be president. I don't know, but he won't be president long if he's president because he's not. He's not presidential. He's intelligent maybe, but he's not intelligent enough or to run the country or be president. And he'll have to listen to guys like Stephen Miller, and I don't think he's smart enough to listen to Stephen Miller, who is really the absolute number one scumbag in the United States right now. Look him up. I haven't got time to read all the crap about him and tell you about it. I know all about him. I mean, I haven't got the time to tell you all about him. So check him out. He's in what is he? The assistant to the president or something like some shit like that. Okay. This stuff is an opinion of mine. You know how I say that back in my time, there'd be a lot more street protesting and stuff like that going on. Well, yeah, you have to remember we didn't have much to do back then. You know, you either went to work, or if you didn't go to work, you hung out. You know, and that was it. You didn't have much. You didn't have to worry too much about a lot of stuff back then. You know, there wasn't the social media. There wasn't computers and everything else where you could protest online, where you didn't have to leave the living room. You could, go back to your video. You could just pause your video game and do a little protesting and come back, and that was it. But they're going to have to start taking it to the streets soon, because Trump doesn't listen to you. Trump doesn't listen to the young people. The young people aren't too busy, posting nude selfies or something, sexting or whatever it is. They're just too busy to get involved, and that's going to cost them. It's going to cost them their freedom. It's going to cost them their ability to sit there and do what they want. Because they're going to start using the AI to use subliminal influencing. All right, that's been around for a long, long time. All right, it was done one time in the movie theaters, before we had television, before we had video, before we had any of that, and it worked. Subliminal advertising. What subliminal advertising is that in a picture, in a motion picture, it's like every so many frames, I forgot the number of it, you put in a picture of popcorn. One frame of a popcorn, and it just goes on. And it stimulates the brain, and the popcorn sales went up when they did that. So then they did Coke sales and stuff, and it works. And then it was banned because it worked too well. But it was still used. Subliminal training is basically called brainwashing, and we still do that. Although nobody wants to admit to it. It's how you get these... It's how you produce a so-called super soldier, somebody that'll do something without asking why or something like that. That's all done through subliminal advertising and stuff like that. And that's all possible. And the more you stare at a phone, the more it is to easily influence you. Now, there are people like me that don't believe anything that's on the cell phone. So I'm not a good candidate for that. Maybe, and plus the fact I'm not a valuable candidate for that. I don't have that many followers or anything where I'm going to become, the next Abraham Lincoln or Martin Luther King or something like that. That's not going to happen. So I see. So you're going to get just the average Joe. That's me. I'm average. I'm just the average Joe. I can't say average Joe because I think there is somebody out there called Average Joe on the internet. So I'm just me. This is the way I am, and I tend to curse a lot. I tend to yell a lot, and I don't get, you know, I'm not personally involved in politics anymore because first of all, I don't live in the United States, and I don't want to get involved down here because I don't have well enough command of the language to be of any consequence down here. You know. And I guess I'm taking the attitude down here that the Americans take in America is where I just want to be left alone. Don't bother me, man. Uh, I see so much crap during the day. And I say, if the cops aren't going to give a shit, my giving a shit is only going to get me shot. So I don't give a shit. Uh, the United States was different. I cared a lot more when I was there. I still care. I just think it's I just don't think enough people care properly. So I think that's what video does to it. And then last but not least, probably they say unemployment's its lowest since 1969. Yet the economy's in the toilet more or less. Prices are way out of control. Uh, Nobody has any money. So if everybody's working, why doesn't everybody have a lot of money? What's the? I don't understand the problem there. That's not right. They're either every other expense out there is far exceeding the average wage, which it probably is due to Trump. That's not. It's directly. It's a direct responsibility of Donald Trump. So don't sit around and say, "Oh well, I inherited Joe Biden." You didn't inherit shit. Okay, you screwed it up once you got here. If you'd inherited it and tweaked it a little bit at a little at a time, it probably would be really fantastic. But you did. You inherited it and screwed it all up. You screwed everything up. Everything you touch turns to shit. Okay, that's why I feel sorry for J.D. Vance. I'm not going to be the next president of the United States. There ain't going to be a United States by 2028 the way things are going. Okay, so don't even think about it, douchebag. Pardon me. J.D. Vance, Hegseth, Tatel, Trump, Stephen Miller. All these clowns in the cabinet and in the administration. There are one or two that might be qualified, but they're not allowed to do the job. For the most part, they're unqualified or unexperienced. Because they have qualifications doesn't mean anything. They spent 20 years doing something different, so they're no longer qualified. That's the problem with these guys. And there was never any qualification for Hegseth. I think he was a major in the National Guard. That doesn't, no, forget it, okay? That's not, I was in the National Guard. The National Guard is a bunch of people that like to play soldier. Some of them really care. Some of them took the job so that they could help their communities out in the time of need. Some of them just love the military and they don't want to, but they don't, it's a combination, they don't want to stay in the military, but they want to be part of the military. Some of them do it for extra money. None of them are they're thrown into combat as usually they're the ones that go into combat. They did it in Vietnam. They went into combat as stopgap measures, and they use them in supply chains and stuff like that rather than actual combat soldiers, because if they go in as combat soldiers, they don't usually come home. You know, I know a friend of mine went into one of the guys in my unit in the battalion I was in. That a company within the battalion I was in got federalized right before I left, and he went into helicopter training and everything else, and he didn't come home. And I don't think it was. I think it was an accident or something. I don't think he was shot down. I forget what. You know, and that's just that's just part of the deal. You know, want to be a soldier, you got to pay you're going to pay the ultimate price, maybe. Anyhow, it's Saturday, or what is it? No, it's Friday. God, I wish it was Saturday already. I don't know why. I mean, you know, I just have so much to do. I need the day off, and now I can't take Sunday off because Sunday is my father-in-law's 86th birthday, I think. And unfortunately, we're going to go throw a party for him, and unfortunately, I don't think he's, well, going to remember too much about it, but that's all right. The point is that I don't know why they do this, because they do the same thing with me, and I'm much more coherent than he is. And they stick you in a corner and they don't bother you, you know. And they go about talk their bullshit, do their thing, you know. Watch a soccer game or something. If you watch soccer, he gets into it, you know. He understands that. Sports, he understands. And that's, you know, why not just, you know, take him to a game? That's what I would do, you know. But I'm not me. Well, I am me, but I'm not them. How's that? That's better? All right. So that's my Sunday problem. All right. So, anyhow, listen, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't know what we're going to talk about, because as the week goes on, it gets boring because Trump becomes less coherent and doesn't talk that much, and everybody else is running around seeing how much money they could steal and everything like that. So, in the meantime, guys, I want you to take it easy. Have a great day. Very hot, very humid, muggy down here. It's uncomfortable, but, you know, hope it's nicer where you are. And we'll see you tomorrow.